I'm Joe Clarkson with ONU Sports. This week for Chilling with a Polar Bear, we have softball shortstop Ashley Sujkowski. Thank you for being with us, Ashley.
You're welcome.
Ashley had a very eventful summer. Ashley was part of the Team USA baseball team that competed at the World Cup in Venezuela. Team USA took home a bronze medal, so we're going to talk to Ashley about that today. So Ashley, to get started, when did you start playing baseball?
I started playing baseball when I was about 9 years old. I played on an all-boys travel team, and I played with them up until about freshman year of high school.
Yeah. Now, what position do you play as a baseball player?
In baseball, I'm mainly a pitcher, but I also play a little bit of outfield and shortstop.
Now, do you bat with the baseball team, or do you strictly just play the field and pitch?
I did get up to bat a couple of times in Venezuela, but I'm strictly a pitcher.
Yeah, and what's your clutch pitch as a baseball pitcher?
My best pitch is probably a changeup and a curveball.
Oh, yeah? Good. Now, was it difficult for you to continue to play? Were you able to find club women's team, or was your first exposure to an all-women's team with Team USA?
Actually, I was asked to play on an all-women's team out of Chicago, and they're actually a part of the AWBF, which is the American Women's Baseball Federation, which I just found out about my sophomore year of high school. And it consists of about 6 or 7 teams that get together a couple times each year and play. Like I play for Chicago, the Pioneers. So that's the first I ever played with women.
Cool. Now, we mentioned this earlier. You're a softball player here at ONU, and you play baseball with Team USA. What do you think the major differences between softball and baseball are?
There's a lot of differences. Like the field size is bigger. The bases are further apart. They're 60 in softball and 90 in baseball. The pitching's closer in softball. The pitching's underhand rather than overhand. And it's just more like quicker reaction time in softball than in baseball.
Now, when and how did you become exposed to Team USA? How did you get involved in the USA program?
I was playing in a women's tournament in Chicago, and there was a scout there, and he asked me to come and play with Team USA in a friendship series, which was against Japan and Canada. So that was my first exposure to USA baseball. And then after that, we had tryouts for the World Cup in 2007, which I made the final cut that year but didn't make it.
So then last summer you did try out and did make it. When did you try out for the World Cup team for 2010?
And over the 4th of July I tried out and made the final cut, which was August 1st.
Great. Now, last year you were extremely busy because not only did you compete on the softball team, but you also competed on the volleyball team. And halfway through your softball season, you experienced a very serious collarbone injury, which ended your season. How were you able to prepare for the summer and be ready to make that World Cup team?
It was difficult because I broke my collarbone in the beginning of April, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be well to play or to go to tryouts over the 4th of July, but I kept working out, doing what I could without using my arm, and I was thankful that it was my left arm and not my throwing arm. And I finally got back in the swing of things, and I was good to go when tryouts came around.
Great. Now, this is kind of a tough question, Ashley, but if you could describe your experience in Venezuela in one word, what word would you use and why?
I'd probably just say that I was thankful just because I was thankful that I was given the talent to play baseball at a professional level, and also that I was able to experience a different culture, and then I'm thankful that I live in the United States and I feel safe in my own country.
Great. Now, what advice would you have for athletes that maybe play an unconventional sport like women's baseball, and they might be discouraged to play because of the lack of popularity of the sport?
It doesn't really matter how popular the sport is. As long as you enjoy it and you're good at it, you never know what it could lead to. I never thought that I'd end up playing on the USA women's baseball team.
And be a bronze medalist at that. So final question. What does the future hold for Ashley Sujkowski and U.S. baseball?
Well, there's not really an age limit on USA baseball, so it's from 16 to whatever. Our team consisted of players from the age of 16 to 40 this year, so as long as I'm still healthy, I'll keep playing.
Great. Well, thank you, Ashley, so much for being with us today. You can catch Ashley and the ONU women's softball team when they get started in March, and we will see you next week for Chilling with a Polar Bear.
Guess what I feel like I can't miss.